introducing to you the Big Bang, as we call it, Ingenic. And you've heard a lot about it throughout the day already. We're going to stick to that, of course, and right now it's all about commitment. You've already heard numerous times that with Ingenic at Krones, we are actually bringing our level of responsibility of commitment up to a whole new level. And we're going to be focusing on that these next couple minutes with my two experts. So please allow me to do the introductions, ladies and gentlemen. We have, first of all, Head of Sales, Digitalization, and Digital Services. This is someone who has an extremely long history with Krones of almost 18 years now, if I am correct. And during this time, during these years, he actually spent up to 90 days, so up to 3 months every year abroad, consulting customers on a global level. That's what I call true passion for the job. Please give it up for Timo Franke. Welcome.
Thanks, Jasmine, for having me.
Thank you so much. Also, we have Head of Plant Applications at Krones, and as a member of the R&D management team, he plays a leading role in the company's digitalization and automation strategy. Now, his focus is on transforming machine and line data into valuable business insights, and that's going to help you as our partners, as our customers, to really make use of your full potential. So please give him a round of applause as well. Dominik Buchfelder, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so gentlemen, in the previous discussions, and I've already just established that once more, we have been discussing your level of commitment, how you're bringing that up. And indeed, just to make that a point one more time, to put emphasis on that, you are committing to something, taking responsibility for lines that you are not physically operating. So perhaps some of you will think that could be a bit contradictory because that is a risk you're taking at Krones, let's be honest. Is it not so, Timo?
Absolutely, Jasmine. And I can tell you one thing. We are taking that risk on purpose. We are willingly doing that, even though we are not physically there operating the line. Why? Because our commitment is based on various building blocks that make us sure that we can handle that risk. First of all, the first building block is for sure the latest line of the future. State-of-the-art technology when it comes to machinery, robotics, autonomous material supply, integrated injection molding. We have heard all about that already.
Yeah.
Secondly, the biggest building block is certainly the very close partnership we're having with our customers, where we define all actions together and where we commonly step forward and improve the line together. Thirdly, I would say we are able to permanently connect to each single equipment, machine, process, so that we can act immediately if something goes out of range. And last but not least, what we are representing here from Team Digital is the number of sophisticated IT tools that we have implemented there, giving us enough insight and control to act whenever needed and to drive the line into the highest level of output.
Thank you for that, Timo, to dive even deeper. And I love the passion, by the way.
Thank you.
Not exact, right? This one, huh? Beautiful. Really lovely to see. So, Dominik, if we now dive a bit deeper, these IT, these automation tools that are being implemented, what exactly is going to be the purpose?
Sure. Our implementation tools are implemented to optimize the two of the most critical processes, maintenance processes and production workflows. The goal is to support in the full entire journey, from execution to a common analysis and to improve together. So really turning data into accountable insights and bring really shop floor value.
Thank you so much, Dominik. So we are going to break that down and translate that into for non-experts as well. Why don't you walk us through the process just to make sure that we all have a good idea of how it works?
Of course. And dear audience, for this to go down to the details, I would like to take you on a journey. On a journey of routines that every customer, no matter if it's an Ingenic line customer or a traditional one, has to manage each day. And this is what I call the daily routines of a customer, a path to success. And if I would have to ask also the online community, what is always the first task every customer has to do? And that's certainly planning. Yeah, and we nowadays have a very sophisticated and state-of-the-art and very full planning tool, helping the customer to always have the highest line utilization. Do I have enough raw materials in place? Do I have enough capacity in my warehouse? What happens if I replan from one line to another one? For sure, how can I reduce cleaning and changeover times? And the most crucial factor is in planning, can I meet the promised delivery times? And all this is handled by our IT planning tool.
So the IT planning tool has helped me plan successfully. So now it's time to take action, right? Now we want to continue to the deed. What is the next step?
Absolutely. You mentioned it already. It's definitely execution. Yeah? You need to have that order sequence on a Monday morning, and you need now to bring it down to the filling line. And here with our line management system, we have a system which can relieve the operator from risks, from risks, what errors he can do in parameterizing the line. Yeah? Every order has a certain machine program behind it for each equipment participating in this production run, and the operator does not have to set up the machine anymore in terms of these parameters. Just the physical changeover is needed. With fantastic features we can nowadays offer. Tank exact filling, so that you only depalletize the number of bottles you actually need to empty the tank. Target exact filling based on the production schedule, integration of inspecting unit, that they know what to check in terms of label, cap or bottle, that we have the integration of printing devices so that there will be never a miscoding anymore, but also very futuristic workflows are supported, like automatic material requests from the warehouse, so that the warehouse management system is booking out this material. We see that here in the showcase here. Then the operator scans the material to ensure it's the right one. And for sure, you all may have heard about that, the line management supports flying changeover, meaning 2 or more orders run on one line at the same time with dramatic effects on changeover times.
Thank you so much for walking us through, Timo. So we have planned, we are executing. The third step is something that every single customer out there, every partner, we can guarantee this, wants to carry out as effectively as possible. What is the next step?
The next step is now in the way of execution that we don't let the operator be left alone in his daily routines. Dear audience and online community, I think we live in a time where it's hard to find skilled operators. You may have a lot of or a high fluctuation of operators, that experienced guys and ladies have left your companies. On the other hand, these Ingenic lines or lines of the future seem very complex in the first place. And here we act with our shop floor guidance system. Here we notify actively the operators in the line when he needs to do something, when to take action on smart devices like phones, watches or even tablets, that we guide him not only in terms of machine error handling, but also when he needs to bring in and take away material. But we also show the digital information of how to perform these tasks, and you will see later on that this is the key for condition monitoring to trigger events also relevant for maintenance.
Thank you so much, Timo, for walking us through. This is what we call, you heard it from Timo, a day in the life of, to give you better understanding. And now that we have planned, we have successfully executed, we have supported the operator, there is a next step to be taken. That's where you come in, Dominik.
Sure, it's analytics. So every customer is interested in room for improvement. So he needs transparency. Which KPIs I have, what is my current OEE, maybe what are my quality losses. These are all interesting things, and our analytics suite is capable for this. Our analytics suite not only provides standard reports, especially for the beverage industry, like OEE or downtime analysis, we are also able to add additional data sources. So connect machine data to the business context, connect ERP systems and bring the worlds together. And we are also able, with our embedded BI solution, to create their own reports based on these needs. And we also can compare machines, lines, but also plants or even countries. And also, what we have in our analytics suite is energy and media. So we have energy and media data and also all the consumptions available in our system, because I think in time where everyone wants to produce sustainable, it's important to have transparency on these topics. Last but not least, we have a state-of-the-art track and trace solution to have raw material to the finished product, and from the finished product backwards, an analysis. In one sentence, state-of-the-art, reliable data for our customers.
Yeah, and Dominic, if I may add something, we have heard about that possibilities from your end, but now a complete update here on that exhibition is that the recently developed line observation is enhancing this analytics suite. We are using AI-driven camera technology to replicate what was happening in the line. For example, bottle bursts, fallen bottles can be replicated to optimize in the long run, but also to react in real time when this happens live in production, that these events are at the right time pushed to the operators, that he can do something to avoid a complete line standstill. And that's, I think, a very integrated way of combining camera and AI technology with analytics.
And this is all a very convincing path to success, but let's say this, let's take a step back and say you hit a minor bump on the road. What if one of your customers, your partner says, we don't have the skill set or we don't have the capacity to actually perform improvements based on reliable data? How can you also support and facilitate here?
And here we also took care about guiding our customers. I remember a business trip, you mentioned one of those, to Asia years ago, where the customer said, look, you have that very nice suite already there, but I don't have the capacities to analyze that on my own, to derive the right actions. Already there, we have discussed, here we have an MSA performance program that we can roll out now live all over the globe, where we dedicate a line expert, not an IT expert, who actually knows how to drive a filling line. And this expert analyzes, based on the analytics suite, what could be improved in terms of how to improve the actions of the operator, what is wrong due to material, what are machine-related downtimes, and he clusters all this information regularly and steps into a dialogue with the customer. Weekly, bi-weekly meetings to say, okay, that's what I found out, so dear customer, let's take action, let's avoid this in future, and please derive the respective actions out of that. So it's combination of IT tools with our line expertise, in one word.
All right, you can tell I'm really trying hard to challenge this man, but he clearly has a solution for every issue that may come up. So I'm gonna move on to Dominic, right? Sure. Because this is very lopsided. Thank you for that. Thank you, Timo. Dominic, let's challenge you for a minute. Let's set our focus on a completely different field. Let's talk maintenance for a minute. How do you offer support here, or how do you guide your customers along their journey?
So we have a software and data-driven maintenance concept. Our newest maintenance concept not only provides a digital framework, we have also the content, the relevant content to execute the maintenance activities. And so we have the necessary standard operation procedures to guide the maintenance team how to execute all these relevant topics. But not only this, our concept also has new ways regarding condition-based maintenance. So we're getting triggered for maintenance notifications to do inspections or even directly change some spare parts. And last but not least, our concept is completed with a dedicated maintenance expert from Krones who supports you for the maintenance strategy and bring the right data on spot and works with you together to execute.
You did just, Dominic, if I may follow up on something you mentioned, you did just mention spare parts as part of maintenance. How do you collaborate with the partner to make sure everything runs smoothly if they need spare parts? Because it happens to everyone, right?
In the Lifecycle Alliance, in the Ingenic line, we also take responsibility for the availability of the line. This means we also take responsibility for the spare part management. We take care that the crucial and the relevant spare parts are always on site, and if there is a need to do so, we directly can reorder directly from Krones. And therefore, our IT solution fully supports this, and the customer and Krones works together in this one solution for a closed and smooth, efficient operation.
Now, thank you, Dominic. Timo did just walk us through the entire production planning process, very, very fast-forwarded. If I've learned one thing from Krones, then it is that there are always two things that are going to be in competition on the shop floor. That's maintenance and production, right? Because it's always the resources, it's always the time that they are competing for. How do you make sure that these two things don't collide, Dominic?
It's true, Yasmin. production and maintenance always have different priorities and there's a competition. But with the right system in place, there don't have to be a conflict. At Krones, we support you to integrate both teams on one platform. So the maintenance guys and the production guys can work together and can plan their activities with an alignment. The transparency allows also to do smart decisions. What I mean here is, in your production planning, it could be that you have planned downtimes, like cleaning or changeovers. And during this time, you have a planned downtime, but you also can execute during this time maintenance activities. And this is the goal, that we make the most of every available window without disturbing the production.
Dominik, since we have with you an expert here, I need to shift the focus one last time to a last field that I'd like to discuss. What about when it comes to the digital solutions? I know that you have an entire range of digital solutions. I'm sure you know many of them as partners and customers, but the condition monitoring approach you have is one that stands out to be very unique.
Yeah.
Why is it so unique?
Because it's tailored especially for the beverage industry, for our Krones machines and lines. This means we not just raise an alert or send raw data. If there is an alert reached, we have the full connection. We have, on the one hand, support from our maintenance guys, but we have also the content pre-built in the system. So this means when there's an alert raised, we know what to do, what are the activities, and also which spare parts are needed. And also the guidance is already available. This supports really our customer to do a smart and efficient execution.
Thank you so much, Dominik. Since you're just, in your flow of speech, would you like to share any closing words? I'm afraid that's all the time we have for now.
Sure. So in today's market, there are a lot of countless standalone solutions. But at Krones, we believe true value comes from connection. Connection to machines, data, people, and processes. That's why our solutions are not isolated. They are integrated, built to work together with you. Because we think digitalization is not just a technology, it's our superpower. A superpower to build a strong partnership with you, and this is how we want to deliver our commitment and bring complexity into clarity and potential into performance and output.
And it doesn't get much stronger than superpowers, right? What am I going to say to that? Timo, is there anything you can add to superpowers?
Nothing to superpowers, but maybe to this environment here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are here at an exhibition, and at exhibitions, sometimes there are special promotions, special prices, special discounts. Unfortunately, we are not selling furniture and kitchens here. But why don't you come after that session to our digitalization booth, or go with us into the beer tent and let us understand your needs, your challenges in your daily routines. I'm pretty sure we have a solution, and who knows, maybe one or the other special deal can be made here. Thank you very much.
Very subtle. Thank you, Timo. Thank you, Dominik.